Greetings lovelies, here is another art video, because virtually nobody has seen my paintings unless they've been a rare visitor into where I've been living. They haven't seen them, and even people that come in and visit me tend to not to look at them. It's as if they're embarrassed to go and have a good look. But there you go. Very few people have ever seen these properly, and it's such a shame. I do them for myself, obviously, but I also do them, like any artist, because they want to be shared. Look, so that's what I'm doing now. Hard for me to get this all in. Oh, in fact, impossible. And it's tilted at an angle. It's really heavy. It was done on a piece of hardboard, I think. This was a painting I did when both of my parents passed away virtually at the same time, and this was the painting I did to handle my grief, really, to channel my grief, to try and get through it. And it's called The Sorrow Tree, and it's done on a piece of hardboard, getting back to that point, and it's very heavy, so it's kind of tilted against the wall, and I don't move it because it's very difficult to maneuver back again. I was just using whatever I could find at the time, so I didn't think too much about the unwieldiness of the material at the time. I'm so sad that I can't get the whole thing in. You're going to get extraneous parts of other things in, and it's going to be distracting to you. You're going to be thinking, what's that? What's that in her house there? Let's look at the painting. Anyway, I'm going to have to go into various parts because it's very difficult. Also, I have noticed, because I can't move this painting anywhere else, when I try and video it, I get the shadow of the camera. I'm not getting it at the moment, I don't think. Right, so we're now in the top left-hand corner. I'm dyspraxic, so I have to think about these things. That is the left, yes. Where we have 3 crows. What a refreshing change. I can't actually... Yes. Oh, it looks really nice, actually. It says fly. Free, I think. Oh, fly, fade, free. I use words on quite a lot of my work because I'm a writer as well, and I like to incorporate the two. And it's been a while since I did this now, a couple of years, so I've forgotten. This is a journey of discovery we're having together. Now, what did I... So this says passing. You can't see it because it's metallic. It's a metallic pigment again. So you can't see it, but it says passing away, I think. And the birds go into the tree, the white birds. And they're up there as well. If I do that, we're not... no, focus. See, if I'm trying to track their movements, we're just going to lose focus. They fly out right to the right side of the canvas. They make a circle around the moon, and then they fly away up there. So it's all about moving, passing on to different realms. In the case of the owl right in the corner here, it says to the stars. Trying to hold that steady. You wouldn't believe the contortions I have to go into to do these videos. You wouldn't want to see it. It's not pretty, I can assure you. Anyway, there, to the stars. So it's all about moving on of the spirit, the soul, the essence, the eternal being, whatever you want to call it. Or just a change of life into another level. Here we've got the hare, who's looking at the spirits of hares who are moving. Got to try and balance myself here. Moving and then leaving. I'm going to get back so you can just see that a bit more clearly. It's a very large piece, this, as well as being heavy, so it's difficult for me to get right in and show you, or get back and show you a more broad area. And this says shining. It's not going to focus. Shining. I can't even see what that says. Soaring. Yeah. So the hares are from the hair on the ground looking up to the hairs moving into another level of existence, and then we go up with the white birds and the moon, and then we go up to the owl in the corner. Okay, I'm gonna have to come down because that's very ow. Right, next to the hair we have 3 deer who are also leaving. As you can see, they're going up to this hill with the trees. See, you can see the shadow of the camera now. Nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid, sorry. And each of these leaves that are also going away have got a word associated with grief on them. Regret, despair, oh, I can't see, lament is up there. Anyway, everything in this painting has a meaning. It is absolutely full of meaning. Let's come back a bit there so you can see the deer leaving. So this is the right hand side of the painting, and at the bottom is where the real pain is. There are barbs, bitter shards, piercing my heart. You do remember this is all about grief. So these are at the bottom. Everything's rising to the top and moving on, but at the bottom where the real pain is, it has to be acknowledged, it can't be overlooked. There are also dandelions losing their seeds. The seeds are blowing upwards as well. There is a movement upwards and away, and freedom, a release from this painting. It says forgive. It says if only. All the words that you come up with when you've lost somebody. And there, if you look next to the hair, the roots in the ground, it says loss and pain. So there's no escaping. It's like the thing about dark, the whole dark thing. You can't escape from any of this. It's part of life. Just like the earth and the winter and everything else. It's just a part of the cycles of life. So I'm not going to shy away from those. But this has got a lot of lightness in it. It's not all pain and anguish. I didn't want it to be like that, so I'm going to move into the middle now, and the central root system of the sorrow tree itself. Down deep in the heart, in my heart, in the heart of the land, and it says pain, hurting, wounded, down. Oops, sorry. And at the bottom it says deeply. So deeply rooted in the experience, rooted in the land, rooted in feeling. I'm gonna have to move my lovely display tray of feathers and pebbles out of the way here, so we can access the left hand bottom side where the fox is. Focus on me, foxy. There you go. So the bottom left hand corner, it says there are thorns buried deep within my breast. And again there are dandelions. It says dwindle, and I can't actually see because the light's shining on it. And again on the left hand side you have a fox leaving the picture, going up to the person at the top of this hill who's got their arms raised in welcome or celebration, and the arms have actually become part of the trees themselves, where the healing is. So there's that movement again, and the shadowing that I talked about in my other... Can you see all the shadowing I've used there to give depth? The purple shadowing. It's something that I've kind of... I don't tend to get my ideas from other artists, I get them from myself, which isn't because I think I'm so great that only my ideas matter, but I like to be original. I'm never going to be a brilliant artist, but at least I can be as original as I can be in terms of what I do, and the colours that I use, and the imagery. So there goes the fox running up there. Meanwhile you've got the fox and the hare, both looking up, both looking away from the pain and the hurt, but not, they're rooted into it. Their feet are on the ground, they're still part of it, but they're looking away, up, towards, hopefully, better days and lighter times, I suppose, when the pain doesn't weigh so heavily. And of course, right down here, focus please, sorry, by the tree itself, we have one word, which is the most important of all, love. And that is right by the roots of the tree, and the heart, the wild heart of the land and the person who has lost. And yet, because of the nature, the cyclical nature of everything, hopefully that loss is not a permanent thing, it's just a transmutation to a different state. Hope I'm explaining this okay for you. There goes the shadow of my camera, that's not very helpful, is it? Right, now I'm going to creakily stand up again. Give you some close-ups of the leaves were created by tiny stamps which I created myself by carving up foam and sticking them onto cardboard. So every leaf is a unique little stamp that I made, because I wanted to put as much of myself into this as I could. And some of the branches are also stamps that I made by the same process of cutting out foam. So you've got the white tree and the white branches, but you've got a kind of shadowing purple branches, again shadowing, giving it more depth. If I come back to here, you can see the complexity of that. It's I can't remember doing this. It's like all my art. It's not because I was in a particular... I can't remember doing most of my paintings. I am so deep into whatever it is, the feeling. I play music while I'm doing it. I conjure up it's a magical process. I've said it before, but it is. If it isn't, then it's not going to work for me, I'm afraid. There has to be a point, really. There has to be a point that I feel very passionate about. There has to be something worth expressing. It's not just a pretty picture. In this case, it is quite a pretty picture. Not all of them are like that, but in this case it is quite pretty. Until you get right down to the literal nitty-gritty of what the words say and the symbolism of those things, then you'd think that this was just a lovely piece, I think. But there's a lot of sorrow in it. It is the sorrow tree. But it is also, well, I hope it's beautiful. Have I said enough about this? I think that's enough for one video. I was going to cover more. I was going to cover quite a few paintings in this video, but I think I've burbled on quite sufficiently. I'll just give you one more sort of go round. So the right top corner, coming down to those hairs that are moving through space, to the hair sitting at the bottom of the tree, and the deer running up the hill, and the thorns at the bottom, and the heart in the centre of everything with the word love, and the fox running up the hill, and the person on the top of the hill, and the leaves moving up, and then the birds, the crows flying away, and the white birds flying out of the image. And I will now try and come back as far as I can. The sorrow tree, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed that. And I bet you're wondering, what's that tufty thing sticking out the side of the picture there on the right? Should I tell you? It's the tassels off a scarf that I made, which is on top of the mantelpiece. Here, have a look. In fact, I'll show you it in another video. It's a felted scarf that I created, and the colours sort of sitted? Where did that come from? They sat nicely with the images and my knitted cloth at the bottom there. Oh, and there's the hair. What a surprise. Right, going now. See you for the next one, I hope.